Hey guys, this is Andrew Sluder, pastor of Bible Baptist Church. I want to do a quick video. I'm not going to have any fancy editing. I'm not going to have any type of intro music or anything like that. I just wanted a very real video, and I was debating on whether or not to do this video, but I really think I should. There has been a lot of controversy going on the past couple of days, past week, I guess, over some things that have been said about different preachers and all that. I wanted to weigh in on one individual, Bob Gray Sr. Brother Gray has preached for me for several years. Brother Gray, I retweet a lot of his stuff. We've had plenty of phone conversations. He's helped me tremendously. And the past week or so, there's been a lot of underhanded accusations. There have been a lot of things said, and there have been things said in the past as well. And so I really wanted to, just to kind of clear the air on my opinion of Bob Gray, because I get asked about him a lot. I hear a lot of negative stuff. I was sitting at a table of preachers back in, I'm not even going to tell you back when. It's been a couple of months ago. I was sitting at a table of preachers, and something negative was said about Bob Gray Sr. And the guy didn't know that I knew. He was just talking negatively and mentioned Bob Gray Sr. negatively. And I don't even want to get into what he said, but I was quick to tell him I have him in every year for my soul winning conference. And let me just start off with kind of what happened with me. I was at a church, was pastoring a church, and got a hold of soul winning, got a hold of bus ministry, and things started going very well. We went from 14 to 60 in 9 months. The Lord just really started working and moving, and I was going out every week, twice a week even, soul winning, and all of that was because of Bob Gray. And Bob Gray sat me down at a Cracker Barrel here in Asheville, North Carolina. He was blunt. He was very blunt. He was leading me strongly, exhorting me strongly about things that I needed to improve on and get right. And I took it all. And I never back talked to him. I never tried to defend myself. I never tried to say anything against him. I said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I didn't implement everything he told me to do, but I knew that this guy had been around and he had a phenomenal soul winning ministry. So I took a lot of what he said and I applied it. And we saw good growth, and we saw people saved and all that. I mean, it was phenomenal. So then, a couple of months after he left, I had deacon trouble. And long story short, I ended up not being at the church anymore. I had one deacon and just had a little bit of trouble. And, I called Brother Gray because I was so discouraged and I was so upset and I was so distraught because I was doing everything I could to reach people and try to grow a church, and I was doing everything I could that I knew in my ability to serve the Lord. And I was so discouraged. And I called Brother Gray and I said, Brother Gray, I don't know what to do. We've had this trouble. I'm not there anymore. I've got people who want me to start a church, but I don't know if I should start a church on it. And he, once again, he said, of course you got to start a church. It's your obligation. You've got a duty. Asheville needs a soul winning, bus running, and old fashioned, independent fundamental Baptist church. You owe it to them. You've got to start a church. And he was the main driving influence in me starting my church, Bible Baptist Church. We started in a living room with 21 people. And now we're in a church building. We've got 2 church plants, and we're running 75 to 80 on Sunday morning. In 4.5 years, we've had almost 80 people baptized. The Lord's just really done a work. No, we're not the biggest church plant ever. We've not grown the fastest ever, but the Lord's really worked and helped us. And he was the main influence in that. He was one of the only preachers that said, yeah, go for it, man. Absolutely, start one. And I called him. I asked him questions. He gave me one of his pastor's manuals for free. He was a blessing to me. And yeah, there were times where he really told me what I needed to hear. even if I didn't like it or wanted to hear it. But looking back on those times, number one, I'm glad I kept my mouth shut. Number two, I'm glad I didn't go into fury about how awful IFB preachers are and think, oh, they're just so awful and critical. No, I needed to hear that stuff. And I look back on that, and I'm thankful that he told me those things. And I'm thankful for the way he told me, because I'm hard-headed, I'm thick-headed. Y'all know me, I'm stubborn and dogmatic. It takes somebody like that to get through to me. And so I just want to, listen, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not going to cast a stain on somebody else to try to lift up. I'm not going to de-elevate somebody else. Is that a word? I think it is. I'm not going to, to lower somebody to lift him up. I'm just simply going to tell you what Bob Gray Sr. did for me and the blessing he's been in my life. And every year we go back to that same Cracker Barrel where it all first happened. And every year he gives me more stuff to work on and more stuff to think about and more stuff to do. And he's just a blessing. He's a blessing to my church, and he's helped me phenomenally. So, you know what? People mess up. Everybody's human. My confidence is not in Bob Gray. My confidence is not in man. I'm trusting in the Lord. If Bob Gray fails, if Bob Gray messes up, it's not going to affect my relationship with the Lord. But at the same time, I do want to recognize the great men in my life. I mean, Bill Grady and Sam Gipp and Peter Ruckman and, Bob Gray, Sammy Allen. You say, well, man, there's some names in there I wouldn't name. Well, that's fine. You don't have to name them. I'm just telling you where I came from. I'm just telling you who helped me. And Bob Gray's one of them. And I owe a great amount of gratitude to Bob Gray, because if it wasn't for Bob Gray Sr., I would not be a soul winner. I would not have a soul winning church. This church probably wouldn't even be in existence. So I owe a great amount of gratitude. And I know the Lord did it all. Don't try to twist that around. I know it was the Lord, but the Lord used Brother Gray to influence me in my life in a tremendous way. And I want to thank Brother Gray for that. I don't know if he'll watch this video. I hope he does. But even if he doesn't, I want to thank Brother Gray for that. And I just want to tell you what Bob Gray Sr. has done for me. In case of all the negative you heard, you know what? Some of the negative may even be true. But that doesn't affect the influence and the help he's been in my life. There's a lot of bad stuff you can say about Andrew Sluder, okay? But hopefully the bad about me doesn't negate the good that I've tried to do with my ministry. And we're all that way. If we're honest, we're all that way. So we all have our shortcomings and failures and blind sides. But thank God that there's people who show us grace. And so I'm thankful for Brother Gray and his influence. All right, folks. Well, there you go. I just want to get that off my chest. I love everybody. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not casting stones at anybody. But I felt like I just needed to make this video and just tell you what a help he's been in my life. Hey, listen, God bless you is my prayer.